Hello and welcome to chapel for the 16th of October. Let's start with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And now it's time for a full week of birthday announcements. Starting today, Friday the 16th, it's kindergartner Nolan Griffin's birthday. Happy birthday, Nolan. This Sunday, the 18th, we have 3 birthdays, all in the 4th grade. The first is Avery Stoops. The second is Allie Hagkar. The third is Elle O'Boyle. Happy birthday. On Monday the 19th, 8th grader Harry Whaley is celebrating his last Montgomery School birthday. Also on Monday the 19th, someone very near and dear to our heart, Mrs. Murata is having her birthday. Very special birthday to you. On Tuesday the 20th, 2 birthdays. 5th grader Fletcher Boulevant and 1st grader Penny Lee. Happy birthday to both of you. On Wednesday, the 21st, pre-K student Sophia Ott, happy birthday. And on Thursday, the 22nd, 2 more birthdays to round them out. Michaela Wolford in 3rd grade and 2nd grader Bay Casaguran. Happy birthday, and take it away, Mr. Ormsby.
Happy birthday to you, happy birthday to you, happy birthday to our friends, happy birthday to you.
All right, before I introduce today's chapel speaker, I have a couple announcements to share with the community. The first is that the MSCA is working to put together an alternate plan for Fall Fun Day and Trick or Trunk. It's going to be very exciting, and news will be coming your way very soon. Stay tuned to Schoolhouse News for those details. Also, I will be offering a series of coffees with the head of school, and they're being scheduled. So we ask that you keep your eyes on Schoolhouse News for forthcoming details. The coffee will be in your home or some remote location, and we'll be over Zoom, but have a chance to see each other and talk. And now it's time for me to introduce our first 8th grade chapel speaker. Today's speaker is Anna Magarelli. A couple things that have been said about Anna. Well, there have been many things that have been said about Anna, but a couple of them I'll share with you. She came here in the 6th grade. Her teachers describe her as eager and diligent as a student, always a willing participant in discussions and always with good questions. She has lesser-known talents. For instance, she does roller derby outside of school and coaches roller derby as well. In addition to that, she plays soccer, and she had a featured role in last year's Footloose musical as Coach Dunbar, where she brought down the house. She's kind and caring about the environment, and she actually initiated a sustainability elective in our curriculum last year. So, will you please join me in welcoming our very first 8th grade speech of the year. Take it away, Anna.
Thank you, Mr. McManus, for that warm introduction. I need to ask you all a question. Have you ever met your Thanksgiving turkey? I have. I know no one actually wants to see the alive animal before they're going to eat it, but it is important to know where your meat comes from. It is also important to know where all your food comes from. It might make you a vegetarian, but it's still important. Hi, my name is Anna Magarelli, and today I'm going to talk to you about food. Do you know where your food comes from? I'm guessing most of you are thinking the grocery store right now. My goal today with this chapel is to talk to you about the importance of local small farms and buying your food locally, because it is important for your well-being and for the well-being of the planet. This is a farm. Most of you have seen these before, probably in books or on television, and more than a few of you have actually visited one. This past spring, my family and I took a class in small farming at this amazing farm in Pennsylvania called Day Spring Farm. After the class, I started interning there this summer as a farmhand a few days a week. Farms have so many different components to them. Day Spring Farm is multi-use. It has East Frisian sheep, turkeys, chickens, and alpacas, but it also has vegetable gardens and fruit trees. The farmers produce artisan sheep milk cheese, meat, eggs, and wool. Farms aren't just one thing, but many. There are all different types of farms. Working on the farm has shown me how much work goes into producing our daily food. Milking sheep is so much fun. I love every part of it, even though I almost got kicked in the face a couple times. It is hard work, but it's worth the experience. I learned how to milk sheep by hand and with a milking machine. When you do it, you know where milk comes from and how long it takes. I've also been able to make cheese as well from that milk. That is a whole different story. Some of the cheeses that I helped make were ricotta, brie, zara, and feta. An interesting fact about feta cheese is that feta in stores is not actually real feta. Feta is made from sheep's cheese, but in most feta in stores from the US is made from cow's milk. So for all your life, you have most likely been eating fake feta. At the farm, I also learned how to feed and take care of chickens, collect and clean their eggs. I also learned how to feed sheep and alpacas. My favorite job was giving the alpacas a bath. Did you know that if you take a hose and squirt a line down the alpaca's fleece, that it will stay there? 2 sides of fluffy, nice fleece, and then one just line where you squirted the hose. It is hilarious, and I did that a lot. The farmer often sent me home with vegetables, eggs, and other things produced on the farm. That made my mom pretty happy. Free food. So why is it important to support small farms and buy your food locally? Did you know it takes an hour to just get a couple gallons of milk, not including cooling it, cleaning it, and packaging it before it gets to the grocery shelves? It takes billions of gallons of oil to get the food from the farm to the store. And it is even estimated that food travels 1,500 miles from the farm to your plate. Buying your food at a local farmer's market takes only a couple gallons. That's a pretty big difference. Even better, if you join a CSA, a community-supported agriculture, and pick up your food directly from the farm, saves even more fossil fuels. Now, here is a video of an interview that I conducted with one of the farmers I work for.
My parents started this place. They were homesteading, basically. Just wanted to produce food for themselves.
Okay.
And we had a couple goats when I was a kid, and they milked the goats, and so we had goat's milk, and my mom made some cheeses and yogurt, and we'll go over this first. And then, so I lived here my whole life with sheep, chickens, and then 15 years ago I decided that I wanted to start doing dairying to get some sheep to start making cheese, and so I did, and then yeah, it sort of turned into a business from there.
So, what?
Then we'll have the message porch.
Do you think it is important to buy locally, and if so, why?
Yes, Absolutely. I think especially during this the COVID pandemic, we've seen a real breakdown in our food system and the issues with transporting food from far away and using giant commercial processing plants, and that it's much easier to get food from that's not going very far from your farmer right down the street, and you're not having those supply chain issues, and also it cuts down on the environmental impact as well, because you're not having to transport food as far, and it also forces you to eat seasonally, which is also less environmentally impactful. That you're going to eat your tomatoes in the season that they grow in Pennsylvania, rather than getting them from California year round or wherever.
How did you learn to become a farmer?
Well, I grew up here. It was just sort of we when I was a kid, I was be down in the barn with my dad when he was helping goats or sheep birth babies, and yeah, we always had chickens, so they were just sort of so from my parents I learned, and a lot of trial and error.
Did you go to any like schools when you or like classes when you once you realized that you wanted to become a farmer?
No, I never took any classes. The only thing that I've done, sort of like professional development, is there's an organization called PASA, which is our Pennsylvania Sustainable Agriculture organization. So they do a big conference each year, and they also do a lot of workshops and things throughout the year. So I've done stuff through them just to, keep learning new things, like what things that are being, new ways of doing things farming-wise, that are also hopefully beneficial to the environment rather than taking away from it, is a major part of what they're doing too.
What is it like to own your own farm and eat your own produce?
It's very satisfying. Definitely is. Every time, like during the winter, when we're able to take some meat out of the freezer, some frozen vegetables, and make a big pot of soup, and and still getting eggs, and have an entire meal that was produced here on the farm, that brings me a lot of joy, and it's very, very satisfying.
What animal have you liked working with the best over the past years or the past 15 years you've been having farm?
That's a tough one. I suppose it's the sheep, just because they are what they give us is amazing. That we get wool from them, that we get the milk from them, that we can even get meat from them if we want it, and working with them on a day-to-day basis, they all have their own individual personalities. They're very interesting, and they're a very friendly group of sheep. So yeah, they're my kids.
Why is it important to know where your food comes from?
Well, then you have an understanding of, like, if you're concerned about the welfare of the animals, that you can actually go to the farmer where they're being raised and find out how they are being raised, and that goes for your vegetables too, like understanding like what kind of pesticides people are using, or if they're not using pesticides, and how they're going about producing their food, because you can do a lot of damage to the environment if you're not conscious of it. So it's good to know who is producing your food, how they're doing it, to know what the system that you're taking part in, basically. and also what the amount of work that goes into producing your food. Like when you just see it in the store and you just pick up a package of meat or you just grab your vegetables, you don't really have an understanding of how much time and energy went into all of that stuff so that you could make a meal.
Thank you, Farmer Julia, for letting me interview you. And also, the background was chickens because they were very annoyed at us. They're always annoyed. Supporting our local farmers is extremely important, especially now. When you buy locally, you are supporting a farm, you know where your food is coming from, you know how it was treated, and it's just overall healthier for the environment. Encourage your local Wegmans or Giant to invest fresh foods coming from our local farmers. Go to your local farmers markets. Join a CSA. At the very least, spend some time learning where your foods comes from and make small changes that help the planet. It will have a big impact on so many lives, including yours. I have wanted to become a farmer for as long as I can remember. This summer gave me an incredible opportunity to start working towards that dream. Not only did I work at Dayswing Farm, but I started building my own farm in my own backyard. I now have chickens, vegetable gardens, fruit trees, and a rainwater collection system. It's a barrel that collects water from our roof that can be used for many things, like giving water to our chickens and washing our cars. This year's harvest so far has included lots of pumpkins, potatoes, and tomatoes. We were able to dig up our potatoes 3 times, and that's a lot of potatoes. We also have so many pumpkins that we don't even know what to do with them, but I do see some pumpkin pie and some pumpkin bread in my future. All the food coming from our gardens tastes so much better than what we would have gotten from the stores because it's just fresh. It's amazing. I'm very lucky because my entire family supports my passion for farming. I want to thank my mom, my dad, and my sister for all their hard work building gardens and a chicken coop this summer and driving me to and from work at the farm. They have been the ones that have believed in me from the beginning. Thank you, family, friends, and classmates and teachers for listening to my chapel, and I hope you have a great day. Thank you.